is, everybody? It's Janine, my guest. This woman is just an incredible talent. She's a beautiful singer. She is the first lady of jazz here in Las Vegas. A dear friend of mine for over 20 years. She's also a Broadway World Award winner. She is a native New Yorker, the recipient of National Association of Women Business Owners Women of Distinction Award for her contributions in entertainment. And she is also Las Vegas Black Music Awards recipient of the Lena Horne Award for Musical Excellence. Her concert themes focus on female empowerment and the transformative power of music. She's performed on Broadway. She's won both Broadway World Awards for Best Cabaret Concert Solo Performance. She's performed with the likes of Paul McCartney, Michael Bublé, the Eagles, Barbra Streisand, Gladys Knight, Elton John. She's just an amazing human. She's done so much to give back to the world of music, not only in Las Vegas, but around the globe. Ms. Michelle Johnson, she's also a producer. She owns Diva Las Vegas Productions and her brand new studio. What is your studio called, Michelle? Hi.
I'm blushing. It is a surreal thing when people read your bio. But my space here, my studio that we just opened, is called Creative Flex. It has 2 rooms. It's a building that has rooms that can be used for different things and swapped, from a rehearsal studio to a podcast room to a place to videotape your music videos. It's a multi-purpose studio that we just started for creative people who want to do everything in one place. We have a backline company. We rent backline to people who are on tour. When acts come to a city, not everybody travels with their drum kits and all their guitars and everything, especially if they're flying. Sometimes they'll just rent in every city, but that equipment is also available in my rehearsal space.
You were a very accomplished singer, but then you've always had your hands in everything, and you branched out and you started producing. I've got to be on the stage with you at many productions that you've done and corporate events and stuff. So I want to just do the basics and walk through with our guests here tonight. I just want to go through event planning 101. Some of these people have never done their own live concert. So if they want to get into something like that, so they can save some money. If you produce yourself, you're saving that production fee. Not easy work, but let's talk a little bit about the very first step.
True. So you really need to think about, what do I want this project to feel like for me, and what do I want to accomplish beyond just playing a lot of venues. I think when you start with intention with any creative project, it helps it along when you hit those bumps in the road where you feel like quitting. It's a lot harder to quit, which is not something I like to do. It's a lot harder to quit if you really believe in the project in the first place. So the first thing I would say, anyone who wants to get into producing instead of just working for other people, is to have a vision of what kind of art means something to you. And then once you do that, I am a firm believer in watching other people who you really enjoy and researching how they get the gigs they get, how they got there, what their process was. I think a lot of us don't put enough time into looking into how to get to the places other people are, people who we admire. We want to magically get hired or magically produce a show. But I think that the step people miss, there's 2 things. One is you might be really surprised at who will talk to you if you just ask people who you think are above you or don't have time for you or are famous. People really like to talk about their process. So once you know what you want to do creatively, I think the next step is, before you even start looking at the nitty-gritty of the logistics, is talk to your mentors, talk to people you admire, and find out as much as you can about how they got into the rooms you're thinking of getting into, and make a list of the different ways you could approach it. And the reason I say that is because there isn't just one way to do things. Sometimes it's word of mouth, right? You ask a friend who knows a friend who has a friend who knows the producer of such and such a venue. Sometimes it's like that. Other times it's the standard, put together a really good reel of your show, a good video, put together a description, put it into a nice package, an EPK, an electronic press kit, and email it out. That's not my favorite way to do things, because people who book see hundreds of these a day, but it's not always the wrong thing to do, especially if you're extraordinary and have something special to offer.